Hey folks, welcome back to another video with yours truly, Sam Healey, right here on the Dice Tower. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to share with you my top 10 cooperative games that you should think about going to buy for Christmas for that special someone that loves to play games. Why are you talking about cooperative games of all things? Well, I think that cooperative games are some of the best kinds of games to play during the holidays, during Christmas, during New Year's, when you have people around that you maybe don't normally play games with. Cooperative games are good for those kinds of situations because there's no competition going on at the table. It's just us working against the game. So that's why I think this would be a good list to make, to recommend to you to buy some of these games so that you can have them on your shelves ready to go whenever those things happen. And of course, we all have those gamers that are in our lives that are hard to buy gifts for because they're always buying their own stuff. But this is going to be a list of basically new games. I went all the way back from 2023 to 2025 to pick 10 new games, and I also have 4 honorable mentions at the end. So let's get to it. My number 10 is a game that I could not include on this list. I don't necessarily enjoy it as much as I know a lot of other people do, and that's really the fact-based reason of why I'm including it on this list. My number 10 is Bomb Busters. Now, it's a cooperative game where you are all bomb defusing agents, and you're trying to go in and work together to defuse this bomb by clipping wires that are on all of the different players' tableaus. Now, the reason, the way that you do that is by using a little bit of deductive logic and sometimes just taking a stab in the dark and seeing what happens. You have a number of failures equal to the players who are in the game, and if you reach that many failures, then the bomb explodes and you've lost and you have to try again. But if you're able to get all of the wires clipped on all of the different players' boards before those failures happen, you've won and you can move on to the next scenario. And there's a bunch of scenarios in the box, so there's a bunch of longevity. My family has been playing this game ad nauseum since we got it, and they still haven't got through all of the stuff in the box. So this is one that I had to include. Number 10, Bomb Busters. Number 9 may have flown under most of your radars, maybe not, but this is one that I didn't think that much about until I actually played it, and I was like, wow, they really did a good job with this. I really enjoy the TV IP that comes with this one. It's called Stranger Things Upside Down. Basically, the players are taking on the roles of the different Hawkins kids that are trying to solve all of the mysteries and disappearances that are happening in Hawkins from basically season 1, 2, and I believe season 3. And that might be a problem. For some of you that like the IP, it'll seem a little old or a little dated, but I'd just like you to assuage some of those fears because it is a really good game, and they did do a good job in capturing the theme and the growing necessity of figuring out all of those different things. And they've done so in a very neat way. So I did want to include it on the list. That's my number 9, Stranger Things Upside Down. My number 8 is a kind of like cooperative Carcassonne, if I can put it that way. It's not a clone of Carcassonne because you're working together, but it plays a lot like it because you're doing tile laying and you're building out these different shorelines for this archipelago, and it's called Beacon Patrol. Now, the cool thing about this is that it's going to have a lot of similar mechanisms to many other tile laying games that are out there, but the fact that it's cooperative puts a little bit of a spin on it and makes it enjoyable. I really think that this is one of the better ways to introduce somebody to tile laying in a cooperative tile laying game. I really think it's cool. Anyway, it's a great little game. It's not very picturesque. That's one of the things that's lacking, in my opinion, is the aesthetics, but how fun the game is kind of makes up for it a little bit. So go check it out. It's called Beacon Patrol, my number 8. My number 7 is a two-player only card game, and I really kind of tried to stay away from both of those, but I like this one so much that I couldn't leave it off. It is a two-player only game, but it is very much cooperative, and it's a trick-taking game. This is called Jekyll and Hyde versus Scotland Yard. So the theme here is that Jekyll and Hyde are trying to stay away from, they're trying to elude Scotland Yard through a bunch of different chapters in the storyline, basically. And in order to do that, you have to basically creatively play your cards out of your hands, and Scotland Yard is going to have its own hand of cards that is actually built by the two players. So you both kind of have an idea of what's in the Scotland Yard deck, and that gives you a little bit of an idea of what you need to play on your turns. But how well you do at staying away from Scotland Yard is based upon, in many of the chapters, how many of the tricks you win in that hand. It's really an interesting game. It's got a lot of neat little rules nuances for each of the different chapters that you go through. I really do enjoy this game, and it's got some great artwork. My favorite guy, Vincent Dutrait. So take that for what it's worth. My number 7, Jekyll and Hyde versus Scotland Yard. My number 6 is the latest version of this series of games called Horrified. Now, I did go back to 2023. There are 2 other Horrifieds out there within this window of time that I used. But this one is the best out of those 3, which is why it made it on this list. If you like Dungeons & Dragons, and dare I say, if you like Horrified, I think this is a no-brainer for you or for your significant other that you might be shopping for still. It really takes that Dungeons & Dragons theme and puts it into a very palatable dish, if I can put it that way. Horrified, I love the system. I love how simple it is. I love how challenging it can be. But you take and add to that some of the iconic D&D monsters like a Displacer Beast or a Beholder or a Red Dragon, and you're trying to save the town from these different monsters. It's really, really fun, and I think it's probably, out of the 3 that's there, it's the best implementation of that Horrified system with a lot of thematic elements thrown in there from D&D. It's really cool. It's my number 6, Horrified, Dungeons & Dragons. Number 5 is a game that I kickstarted, and I got my pledge in, and I really have enjoyed it. I don't know how available it's going to be in retail, though, so you may have trouble finding this one. I hope you can, though, because it's a really fun tower defense cooperative game. It's called Fate, Defenders of Grimheim. It's by the same designers as Terraforming Mars, but don't let that kind of fool you, because this is really kind of a cheeky take on defending a fantastical or a Norse village from 4 different hordes of monsters. You've got the fire giants, you've got the skeletons, you've got the trolls, and I can't remember what the other one is, but there's 4 different hordes of bad guys coming after you. And the cheekiness of it is that you guys are the B team, because the A team heroes from the village are off doing something else, and you guys are the only ones left to defend Grimheim. Each player is going to have their own deck of cards, which represents their own abilities and the own kind of weapons that they have and all of that kind of stuff. And it's very much a variable player power game, but it's so cool because all of those different powers work so well together. You really do have to work in tandem with each other to keep the different hordes at bay. This is a great one in my opinion. So that's my number 5, Fate, Defenders of Grimheim. My number 4 is one that may have flown under your radar because it is a rather elusive IP, and that is called Thorgal, the board game. Thorgal is a character from a comic book or graphic novel series that I believe is very popular in Europe. But the hook for me was that the main character in the whole scene is Norse and Vikings, and it's that kind of thing. So that's what pulled me in. This is basically a story-driven campaign ish kind of game. There's scenarios. You can string them together and it feels like a campaign, but it's really just scenarios of Thorgal going through these different adventures taken from the graphic novels / comic books. And it's got some really neat, innovative mechanisms for doing a lot of different things that are mainly just, okay, I'm going to lose some hit points. Well, here, hit points is a little bit different because on the monsters or the bad guys, you have to basically connect these different spots on the board using these different polyomino shapes. And once you've done that, you've defeated that monster. Well, on your board, you're going to be taking those same kinds of polyomino shapes and you're going to be putting them in your little hit point area of your board that is a different shape for everybody. And once you can't place another damage counter in there, well, you're knocked out. It's actually really innovative. It seems like it might be more complex than it should be, but it isn't, and it's very fun. Thorgal, the board game, my number 4. My number 3, I got the opportunity to teach for 3 days at Gen Con one year, and I enjoyed every single minute of it. This is called the ART Project, the Art Rescue Team Project. It's a cooperative game where you're basically playing a group of elites that are trying to save different pieces of artwork from being stolen, or ones that have been stolen. We have to go pick them up and save them and return them to the hands of their rightful owners. And you're able to, through card play, basically work together to move to different cities. You follow the clues to where the next art piece is going to pop out. You have a limited pool of resources that you all can use together that you basically share. And it is just an enjoyable experience. Vincent Dutrait's artwork is showcased here, and it really goes a long way to make the game look very well. But really the coolest thing about it for me is that it comes with no less than 6 different maps that you're going to be playing the game on. And each map has its own little nuance for the game. Really an enjoyable experience. It has some pretty good longevity in there with those 6 different maps as well. So I've really enjoyed this one over the years. So go check it out. It's called the ART Project. All right, the last 2 games on my list are games that I actually don't own, but my buddy JT here in town, he does own them, and I can pretty much ask to play them anytime I want to, as long as he's not playing them. But number 2 is, if you like the Alien franchise, specifically the second one, Aliens, this is the game that you need to go pick up. It's called Nemesis Retaliation. Now, it does have a pretty penny for a price tag, but I want you to understand how fun of a game this is. And if you enjoy the IP and you enjoy the kind of game that it is, cooperative, action-packed, run and gun, then this is kind of a no-brainer for you. If you got to save up, do that. But this is something you need to put on your radar if it wasn't already there. I enjoyed the original Nemesis a lot. I only played it once, but I really enjoyed that feeling that it gave you. This one, I enjoy it so much more because it's much more of the action-packed horror, sci-fi horror that Aliens, the second movie, was. And I think that if you have any inkling of wanting to get this, you should go check it out because it is that good of a game. That's my number 2, Nemesis Retaliation. Finally, my number 1 is a game that has the Lord of the Rings IP. It's a great cooperative game that utilizes the pandemic system by Matt Leacock. This is called Lord of the Rings: Fate of the Fellowship. The first time you play this game, you're going to be able to recognize the mechanisms from the pandemic system. You're going to, okay, I got that. I understand what that is. I understand what that is. But a few rounds into the game, you're going to be so enveloped in the theme and the IP, you're not going to be able to see those mechanisms anymore because you're going to be thinking like you're a character in the movie / book. And you're going to be thinking thematically. You're going to be thinking, I need to go do this so that we can do this and do this. And it's such a thematically rich game that you wouldn't think it was, because a lot of those different pandemic system games weren't I mean, they were fun, don't get me wrong. It's a great system, but they didn't really feel thematic. They felt kind of like IP money grabs. This one, however, while it very well could be an IP money grab, I don't know. But it doesn't feel like it. It feels like it was a labor of love because it really does strike that thematic chord that I want most of my games to do. And so that's what this one is, and I can't more highly recommend it as a cooperative game. If you haven't purchased this one yet, I highly recommend it. I'm probably going to be doing the same thing, even though I can use JT's copies almost anytime I want to, as long as he's not using it. I want to have my own copy because I liked it that much. So that's my number one, Lord of the Rings, Fate of the Fellowship. There's going to be a couple that are probably a little harder to get a hold of. I'll go through those first. Dutch Resistance, Orange Shall Overcome. If you're a World War II fan and you know anything about the Dutch Resistance during World War II, this one is one that I think you will very much enjoy. It has a lot of different scenarios within it that where you're basically a group of Dutch resistance fighters during World War II that are trying to elude and sabotage the SS that are working in your town in a number of different ways. So it's really fun. The second one is called The Great Commission, the strategic card game. This is a great one if you're a Christian and you enjoy tableau builders more than anything else, because it's not really a deck builder, although you are getting new characters, new members into your church, but you're trying to basically spread the gospel and get the world deck, win the world deck basically, into your hand, or rather into your church or into the other people's churches before the events run out. It's really good, it's really fun, and it has a lot of really neat mechanisms in there. But I've talked about this recently on a lot of other lists. Sky Team was kind of a no-brainer, but again, I don't own it, and it's a two-player only game. And if I'm going to recommend a game that's two-player only, it's going to be the Jekyll and Hyde versus Scotland Yard for me specifically. But again, it's a no-brainer. If it interests you at all, go purchase it. You won't be disappointed. That's that. Thank you for joining me. We certainly appreciate you. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Merry Christmas.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.